In this video, we are going to be testing out an air fryer, a Cricut mug press, and the HTV Ront Tumbler auto heat press. And we are going to be using these blanks today to see which ones work best in which machine. I have used all of these and I am excited to get started. These are the sublimation designs that I printed, and as you can see, they are in reverse, and that is what we want. These were printed with my sublimation printer. So let's check out a couple of these pieces. So this in the Cricut mug press is not tight enough. So you would either need a silicone sleeve for that or not use it. Let's open that back up. And also this one, same thing. It's just not tight enough. And I have tried it with silicone sleeves and it just doesn't work as well. This one fits just right in this one, but it does not fit in this one, in the HTV Ront. So fits in the Cricut, doesn't fit in the HTV Ront. So this one we'll be doing in the Cricut mug press. These two don't really fit in anything, so I will be trying them out. I have tried these cute little cups in both of these, and so they just don't get tight enough without a silicone wrap in the Cricut press, and it just keeps turning off. And I've tried it in here, but it's not getting an even pressure in the HTV Ront. But we are going to try a trick on that today. Mugs fit perfectly in both. They do not work in the air fryer because they have the handle. Glass does work in the air fryer, and so do tumblers, but anything with a handle is not something that we're going to be using the air fryer for. So now that we know what works in what machine, we'll be getting started. So the Cricut mug press is automatic, so we're just going to turn that on and wait for that light to get green. Now the HTV Ront auto tumbler press, we'll turn it on, and for ceramic, we'll start with our ceramic mugs. It suggests around 360 to 385, I believe. Let me look here. It says 360 to 390. And my favorite temperature is 385, so we're going to check that. Yep, I've got that set to that. And we are going to do 6 minutes on that. It says 6 to 8 minutes in the brochure, the manual that comes with it. So I've got it set for 360 seconds. So as these are heating up to full temperature, I will go and put our design on our mugs. So I have got my design on my sublimation ready cups. Mugs, these are both the same brand, Sublimation mugs, and I'm using HTV Ront paper. They have the same design. My HTV Ront is almost up to temperature, and the Cricut mug press is up to temperature. So as soon as the HTV Ront gets ready, we'll get these in. Now I pretty much tape these the same because I want this to be totally fair. Oh, the HTV Ront just got up to temperature. So I'm going to be popping this in to the HTV Ront, and it does have a, whoops, going the wrong way here, I think. It does have a mark on there, right here. Shows you that the handle, put the handle up to this position. So that's what I'm going to do. This brand of mug is very tight in this tumbler press. So now I've got that one in, and I'm going to start the cycle. Shuts up nicely. Now I'm going to put the one in the Cricut mug press. Same thing, handle ready to go. And we will see how these turn out. So I have put a clean piece of paper on my cooling mat, and you can see they're counting down nicely here. The Cricut, as soon as those 5 dots are all full, then it's done. They both will beep when they're done. But I did want to show you that I have a cooling mat here and heat resistant gloves. You want to be always protecting yourself because these are going to come out extremely hot. So we're at about 2 minutes left here on the HTV Ront, and 2 indication lights left on the Cricut mug press. Now I forgot to mention that these are 15-ounce mugs. They are not 12-ounce. They are 15-ounce, and I'll tell you the brand. It is Cricut. They are Sublimation Ready Cricut mugs, 15-ounce. Almost done. All right, we're down to 43 seconds on the HTV Ront and 1 indication light left on the Cricut mug press. So we're going to see how these do. Which one gets done here? I'm assuming the Cricut mug press is probably set for 6 minutes as well, but we will see. 20 seconds left on the HTV Ront. Let's see what the Cricut does here. 1 indication light left. Indicator light. Let's see. I think they're going to be pretty much done at the exact same time here. We got 5 seconds left on the HTV Ront. All right, that one's done. I'll pull this out here. All right, so I do have that 15-ounce mug out of the tumbler press, and we are on this last indicator light for Cricut. It's almost done, so we will see how that goes here. Let's see, should be any second here. Hope there, done. So I will pop this up and get this one out as well. I do gotta say that they came out much easier out of the Cricut mug press, but I guess that's okay. So let's let these cool for a second and then we'll reveal. All right, so this is the HTV Ront. It looks great. And here is the Cricut. Well, I would say that these are a horse apiece. Very good on both of them. By the way, all of the designs I am using today are designs that I've created, and I have them on my Etsy store, and I'll have the links below for that. This one says, sorry, did I roll my eyes out loud? So yeah, I think this is a horse apiece for the Cricut and the HTV Ront. One thing though, the Cricut was easier to get them in and out of, but the Cricut you can't do tumblers in either, so you have to weigh that out when you're purchasing. Now we are going to be trying these cute little campfire cups. I've got 2 of them done, and these are going to go in the HTV Ront, and then I've got this insulated cup here, and that only fits in the Cricut, so I'm going to put that in the Cricut. Now I cannot set the time and temp on the Cricut, so we're just going to wing it on that one. But these tin cups I can, so I am going to set my temperature at 385, but I'm going to drop these down to 240 seconds because I only want to do these for 4 minutes. So we got the 240 seconds. So I'm going to load these first. So I am taking my these little cute tin mugs, campfire mugs I guess is what I'd call it, and I'm going to put one at this end and just push it in until it's at the red there, and I'm going to put the other one at the other end because I have tried these before and they're very hard to get an even pressure on, so I thought I'd do 2 at the same time. And as you can see, I've got that metal band right on the outside of the press. I'll make sure I've got that in there just right. So now I'm going to close this one and we'll get going on that. And I am going to put this insulated one, see the design on there. I'm going to stick that right into the Cricut mug press here, and I'm going to shut this one and see what we get. Hopefully it'll go through a cycle. It will stop those, so we're going to see how that goes. But actually, this is the only thing that I have that those insulated tin cups fit into with a handle. So let's see what we get. All right, so we have 141 seconds left on the HTV Ront, and the Cricut mug press is almost up to that last indicator light. So we'll stay here and see what happens here. And then I'm going to have to close it again because I want these in there for at least 4 minutes. So let's see what happens here. It's almost done. It's telling me it's almost done anyway. And we still have a minute and a half left on these. So that will be the full 4 minutes. So we'll go back here and see what we've got. There, see? And we still have 91 seconds here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open it and let the indicator lights go off, and I'm gonna press it again and see what we get. The mug press does not, it is not made for anything other than ceramic cups, ceramic mugs. So this is kind of a hack. See, the indicator lights have went off. It's still saying it's at full temperature. So I'm just gonna keep it running for about another minute because we're down to a minute here on the HTV Ront. So I'm just gonna leave it sit in here and hopefully it turns out. All right, so we have 20 seconds left on the HTV Ront, and the Cricut mug press is still going. So I'm going to wait for these 20 seconds. I said minutes, 20 seconds left here. So we got 5 seconds left, and the HTV Ront will open by itself. So what I'm going to do when this one opens now, I'm going to open the Cricut mug press. And I'm going to take this one out first and put it on the cooling mat. And now I'm going to take these 2 little cups out that are in there pretty tight. See if I can get them out. Yep, got it. So we got 1, and they're not that tight. I was just pulling on it wrong. And 2. So now I'll let these cool for a second, and then we'll do the reveal. Well, one side did better than the other. These are extremely hard to do in anything because they really don't fit good in anything. But this one on the right here, the color is a lot better than this one. I don't know why. They were in there the same amount of time, same pressure. So, but this one didn't turn out too terribly bad. It's got some on the top, where it just doesn't get an even pressure. So these little tin cups are very hard to do. So I don't recommend using either one of them for them. But if you have to, maybe put your print down lower away from the rim and have something down maybe an inch and make it a smaller image, because it looks like the bottom did really well. Now using the Cricut mug press on this tin cup worked very well. The color turned out really well. I guess the Cricut mug press is not made for these, but all in all, it did really well. So I did do 4 minutes on that. So it turned out good. So the next thing we're going to do are these cute 16-ounce glass can jars. We're going to do one in the air fryer, and we're going to do one in the HTV Ront press. So they're both going to run 385 degrees Fahrenheit for 6 minutes. So they're both heating up right now, and I will start getting these ready. So the one that goes in the air fryer is, I'm going to have to put the shrink sleeve on it. So I'm going to get this all set. So I have added my design to these frosted sublimation ready glass cans, and I tried to tape them in place the exact same. And like I said, one is going to have the shrink sleeve and one isn't. Now when adding a shrink sleeve, anything that is not covered, that shrink wrap is going to stick to it. So I do add a piece of paper over the top of my image, and I'm covering as much of the glass as possible. This is just regular copy paper that is going to go on the glass before I put the shrink sleeve on. Now I'm going to hit this shrink sleeve with my heat gun here, just for a couple seconds, just to get it to start. It's hard to do one-handed, but we'll get this. Just to get it tight on there. Give it a little bit of a tip here. Got it. All right, so I've got this all set. I'm going to be turning this glass can 3 times. So I have it set at 385 for 120 seconds. So this is the HTV Ront auto heat press. I'm going to put it image side down, and I'm going to start this one. Now I have got my air fryer all set at 385, and I'm going to be doing this for 6 minutes here. And again, it's 385. So I'm going to open my basket and I'm going to put this glass can in, and I'm also going to be rotating this every 2 minutes. All right, so the first 2 minutes is done, and I'm going to turn this just a little, about a third, and I'm going to restart it for 2 more minutes. And now we've got 2 minutes done on the air fryer. So I'm going to open the basket, and I am going to turn this about a third, close it again, and get that going for 2 more minutes. All right, so here is the final turn on the HTV Ront. Turn it so it's facing the back this time, and the last 2 minutes. And now we'll go to the air fryer, and it's got 2 minutes left on it, so we're going to turn this about 1/3 again, close it up, and get it down for that last 2 minutes. So we're coming to the end of the air fryer here, so I'm just going to take it out and put it on the cooling mat. We got a few seconds left on the HTV Ront. So as soon as this is done now, I'm going to pull it out, and I'm just going to set it on my cooling mat here because this glass is so hot. All right, the HTV Ront is done. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take this one out, and I'm going to set it on the cooling mat without burning myself. I love looking inside of these to see how nice they look. So I'm just going to turn my press off for now, and I'll let these cool for not too long because I do like to tear off the shrink sleeve while it's still fairly hot. It comes off easier. So I'll get this off and then we'll compare. All right, here is the air fryer. Looks pretty good. So now I will get the HTV Ront tape off, and then we will compare. All right, so the one on the right is the HTV Ront auto heat press. The one on the left is the air fryer. I would say that 6 minutes at 385, turning 3 times, they're pretty close. Like a horse a piece, or in this case, a donkey a piece. So actually, wow. The only thing is there are more steps to the air fryer, but if that's all you got, that's all I had for 2 years. And so I, did pretty much, I tried it a few times in the Cricut mug press, didn't work. So it does work in the air fryer, but all in all, they are pretty darn close. So our next test here is going to be these 20-ounce skinny tumblers. One is going to be in the HTV Ront auto heat press, and one is going to be in the air fryer. So I'm heating them both up. It's going to be 4 minutes at 385 degrees Fahrenheit, and they're going to be rotated at 2 minutes. Now, if you notice, my image that I did is full coverage, and it is dark. I wanted dark because dark is hard. Sometimes you get ghosting and stuff, so I thought, let's give it a shot. Now, for these first 2 tumblers, I am going to be using shrink sleeves on both. I'm going to use shrink sleeve in the air fryer, and I'm going to use a shrink sleeve in the HTV Ront auto heat press. And then my final tumbler that I will do, I'm just going to put it in the HTV Ront without a shrink sleeve. So those will be the last 3 of these. So we'll be doing tumblers, and then I will do this final little glass can back here with the handle, and that's going to be in the HTV Ront auto heat press with no shrink sleeve. Now I wanted to show you this, so I've taped them up the same. I've got about the same amount of tape on each one. You can see that I go over the edge with my fingers, and then I do the same thing on the bottom so that when the shrink sleeves go on, they go nice and tight. So you just rub your thumb over that edge. And I did that to both. So now I'm ready. I'm going to put the shrink sleeve on. So now I'll put the first one in my air fryer and drop it down to 4 minutes. Again, it's at 385. Drop it in, seam down, close it, and that one started. Now I'll put this one in the HTV Ront Auto Heat Press. Same thing, I'll put seam down, and I'm going to make sure that I turn this really well. Here's the first 2 minutes here, and it's in. Good. All right, so we've got our 2-minute mark here. So I'm going to rotate this about halfway, close it back up for the last 2 minutes. And the HTV Ront is opening up. I am going to turn this about a half a turn. Get in there and get it turned a little bit here. There we go. All right, a little bit further. All right, now I'm going to close that up. There we go for another 2 minutes. And here they both are. The one on the top is out of the air fryer, and the one out of the bottom is out of the HTV Ront Auto Heat Press. Okay, so let's critique these. This is the air fryer. You know, there is a little ghosting on the bottom, but not too bad. Top, real good, but I see a little color variation here. But all in all, this is the way I usually do my tumblers. Now, HTV Ronts, these are with the shrink sleeve now. There is some ghosting on the bottom. So, you know, I'm going to see what I can do now when we do not use a shrink sleeve in the HTV Ront for the next one. But otherwise, color-wise, they look pretty much the same. Let me spin them again here. Get this to the back. There is a little ghosting on that one on the seam, but not too bad. The one on the left is the air fryer. The one on the right is HTV Ront. Okay, so now I will get the next one ready for the HTV Ront with no shrink sleeve. All right, so I've got my tumbler ready to go. One thing I do know is that when you're taping the top and the bottom this much, it is a lot more work to do the taping than it is to do the shrink sleeves. But we're going to give this a shot. So I am going to put seam down in here, and I'm going to run my first 120 seconds. And here is the end of the first 2 minutes, and I'm giving it a turn, and then I'm going to restart it. Okay, so we're coming to the end of our 4 minutes here, and I'm going to take it out, and then I'm going to set it on the mat to cool, and then we will see how it turned out. So here is in the mug press, and again you can see that there's ghosting on the bottom. So this is the same color, it's just a different design on it. The top looks pretty good, but there's some ghosting up there too. So I either got to get better at my taping, or definitely I am used to using the air fryer. And as far as this goes, the air fryer with a shrink sleeve won this contest, I would say. So now I am going to get the that little green cup going there, and that'll be our last project. This last design is not mine. I ran out of images that I printed. So now what I'm going to do, make sure I got 385, and it is 6 minutes for glass. So I'm going to go up here to 360, 6 times 6, 360, yeah. 360 seconds, and then we'll get this last glass jar started. Here it is. I'm going to put it in, and I'm going to make sure that the handle is right in the middle, and start. And here it is, fresh out of the press. And here is the reveal. The colors are so vivid with this heat press. I am very impressed with the glass that goes in there, especially these with the handles, because they really can't be done in anything else. So the HTV Ront Auto Heat Press is definitely, Tumbler Press is definitely the winner for these glass. And here they all are. So we did our glass can in the air fryer, And we did this tumbler on the left here in the air fryer, which out of the 3 tumblers that I did, that is the win. That one came out really nicely. The cup on the Cricut mug press there, that tin cup, and then the ceramic. And the 2 ceramic cups, the one that was in the Cricut mug press and the one that went through the HTV Ront tumbler press, they both turned out the same, perfect. The tin cups, they are very hard to do. Tumblers in the tumbler press, I've got to get better at taping because the shrink sleeve and my taping was not good. So I will continue to work on that. But as far as the glass in this HTV Ront tumbler, auto tumbler heat press, it is so good, so crisp and clear. That is definitely a win. And here are just a few more pictures. These are the 2 that were done in the air fryer. This picture is kind of dark. It doesn't do it justice, but these are the 2 that were done in the Cricut mug press, and they both turned out perfect. And then this array of items that were done in the HTV Ront auto heat press, tumbler heat press. The tin cans, the campfire cups, they just are hard to do, period. I think I can get them better if I would make the design smaller, put it more in the center or towards the bottom instead of so close to the top. And then I just have to work harder at my tumblers because I'm going to get this to work. But as far as glass goes, definitely the best. So I just thought that this would be a good video to do just a comparison of tumblers, glass, and ceramic in the air fryer, the Cricut mug press, and the HTV Ront tumbler press. So I hope you enjoyed my video. Please subscribe to my channel and like my video, and you'll see links below for items that I've used. Have a great day.